guys, happy Monday. It's Rhonda again. So I realized that in my last video, I completely missed to speak to those of you who have reached out to me and expressed that a floor practice is very challenging. And I understand this from many different reasons. Getting up and getting onto the floor and getting back up off the floor can be very difficult, especially if you have a lot of stiffness in your joints and you don't have that stability, that strength to get back up. So this practice is for you. If you find it more comfortable to do most of your day in a chair versus on the ground, some of the things that we can work on to make that bakasana, that crow pose, accessible. Remember, in that bakasana crow pose, we are working on chest opening, heart opening, a lengthening through the spine. We're also working on resistance, on pressing, on balance. We are working on hip flexibility. So in this little mini practice, let's go ahead and address all of those things. So while you're in your chair, let's go ahead and come to our breath. I know that this practice of yoga can be a little frightening sometimes. It's this fear of the unknown, maybe even clouded with a little self-judgment. Maybe there's a mild resistance, a fear of what if X, Y, and Z. And I invite you now to just find a moment of clarity and soften through your eyes, closing them. And while you are seated in your chair, let's first notice what's connected to the chair. Noticing your sit bones, your glutes, your thighs. And notice where your arms might be resting, if they are resting along the arms of a chair or in your lap. And notice your shoulders. Begin to notice where they are in relationship to your hips. So just by noticing, this is what we call this proprioception. We're going to draw an internal awareness. So the proprioception is noticing where our shoulders are in relationship to our hips. If maybe we're leaning forward, maybe we're slouching way back. Can you draw that inner awareness to draw the midline back up through center, centering your shoulders over your hips while still remaining connected with your seat? And breathe into this space, like the shape of an hourglass as you breathe in, filling all the way up through your shoulders. And then as you breathe out, soften through the belly, the diaphragm. Allow everything to sink down, all that energy to sink down into your seat. Again, your arms resting where they may. Let's take 2 more breaths, just like this, just filling up this container, the shape of an hourglass, filling all the way up to our shoulders. Remembering that you're a multidimensional being, and as you breathe out, imagine that breath swirling within as you soften and take that energy all the way down to your hips. Notice your knees. Drawing attention now to anything else that might be grounding you. Perhaps it's your feet today. Allowing your mind to slow down just enough to draw the awareness now to the palms of your hands and your elbows. And as we breathe in, we'll open through the shoulders, rolling the shoulders away from our ears. Open your arms wide like a T-like shape. I have a window here, so if you're like me, maybe you just bend through the elbows in this cactus-like arm shape. Noticing your shoulders over hips, elbows and shoulders, palms of your hands. And imagine now that you're pressing against a pane of glass. It's right there in front of you. With your fingertips gently, as though they're like a little frog. So instead of flat palming, imagine you're this little tree frog gripping this imaginary pane of glass right in front of you. Breathe in, open up through your ribs, your shoulders, your heart. And as you exhale, draw the elbows in towards your ribs. Swivel through the hands, the elbows, bringing the hands together towards your midline. And then inhale, open up. Let's swivel the elbows right back up. Imagining now that you're pressing against a pane of glass. This time drawing the elbows in towards one another. Palms come face to face. We're going to swim our right elbow under our left. And if it looks a little wonky, that's fine. Everybody has a different physical expression of the posture, but what you're looking for is this energetic expression. You're going to feel as though you're drawing everything up and in. And breathe in, lift the fingertips up towards the sky. And as your elbows lift, notice them resting near the place underneath your chin. This is going to give you that feeling of elongation through the spine. The sensation that's necessary as we press towards the earth, as though we're in that crow-like posture. And if you can envision now, as you press the hands together, lifting through the elbows, opening through the heart, pressing through your seat, elongating from the belly button all the way to the crown of your head. Breathe in. Exhale, let's release everything. Soften, elbows sink down by your sides. Draw the hands back together. Let's take a little hug. Draw your hands to opposite elbows. You can either massage through your shoulders, or if you'd like, you can give yourself a little bit of a greater hug and massage through the ribs, the belly. You're using all these same muscles that we used while we were on the ground. So if you didn't get a chance to do the floor practice, these are going to engage and give you the same energetic sensation that you would have if you were on the ground. So let's switch the arm position. Let's inhale our arms up. Exhale, elbows like that cactus or goalpost arms. Fingers are gently pressing forward, creating this cupping-like sensation like you're a tree frog. Breathe in. Exhale, slowly lower the elbows down towards the direction of your ribs. Lengthen through your spine. Begin to hinge your hands close together. And then we're going to inhale, open up. Slide the hands right back up, elbows up like you're sliding up that imaginary pane of glass. And this time draw the right elbow in first. Swim the left elbow down and under. Again, remember it's more of an energetic sensation that you're looking for than a physical manifestation of this practice. So no matter what it looks like, if there's more space that you need and it's a little wonky, don't worry about what it looks like, you're going for feeling. So drawing your hands together as close as they can. Again, no matter what it looks like, imagine that you're pressing against a pane of glass. Some of you might have your hands together. Inhale, lift up, lift the elbows up towards the chin, fingertips reach for the sky, slowly draw the back down, the shoulders down, belly button in. So you're elongating both up and down at the same time. Hips sinking into the chair, feet rooted to the earth, fingertips are lifting. Imagine that crow-like shape in your mind. And actually, we're doing an eagle's bind here. So these birds of flight that also like to perch. Inhale, open up. Find your flight. Exhale, elbows down. Draw the hands together. Again, hands to opposite elbows if you'd like to massage through the upper arms. And maybe you take a tighter hug to get a little squeeze, massaging through your belly and your ribs. Okay, so we worked on our upper arm body. Inhale, let's take a hold of our chair, whether it's, what are those called? Arms of your chair, or maybe it's just the bottom of your chair. Inhale, puff your heart out. Exhale, draw your chin to chest. Let's elongate through the back body. Getting some length through the back of the spine. Inhale, puff the heart up. Chin lifts to the sky. Exhale, chin back down towards your chest. Inhale, draw the chin back up through center. Release your hands, so you give them a little shake, a little wiggle now that you've really done a lot of work on them. If you need to scoot back, you can. We're going to imagine that we're pressing the ground away from our hips. I'm saying that backwards. So imagine that you are pressing your hands and lifting your shoulders to the sky, lifting your hips off of your chair. And if your hips and your butt doesn't move, it doesn't matter. You're looking for an energetic sensation here. So just press through the chair, shoulders to the sky, puff your heart forward, breathe here, notice the low belly. And again, notice that sensation of proprioception, and then draw an inner awareness for your interoception. Draw the shoulders over the hips. Breathe in. Let it go. Softening through your body now. Release that tension. Shake it out. So our practice doesn't always have to be on the ground for it to be super energetic. You can get just as much of an energetic experience while seated in a chair as you can when you're on the ground. So let's move to our hips. So where we're kind of working from the heart space outwards. We went to the crown. Now we're going through the middle of the body, and we noticed our hips, notice the pressing sensation. We're going to go for those hip openers. So if it is accessible to you, see if you can bring your right ankle and place it over your left knee. So whatever that looks like for you, again, if your knee's super popped up, totally fine. You're going to look for a sensation where it feels like you're opening through the hip. So if your knee is super popped up, just give it a gentle, a very mild tap. And you're going to find that place where you're finding resistance. And for everyone, this will look differently. So it's sometimes nice to do it in the comfort of your own home because you're not worrying about what you look like compared to someone else. But if you're in a practice room, you just keep that same internal awareness and maybe even soften through your eyes, pressing the knee down gently. Again, it's gently. It's more like just noticing this melting sensation, allowing gravity to do the work. And if you're feeling so tight and tense, and maybe even a little resistant out of fear, just notice that. Check in with it. Is it fear of pain? Is it fear of any other thing? And if it is, just breathe out like a cloud. Let that thought pass, the emotion to pass. Let the knees soften. Maybe just allow your right hand to soften on that right knee. Notice your left hand. Place it somewhere, either on your ankle or your foot. And we're just going to sit here and soften for just a few breaths. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. This is yoga. We're still breathing. We're moving with intention. We're drawing awareness from our proprioception, this outer awareness of our tangible space around us, to our inner space, to the interoception. So I'm noticing that I'm leaning forward. So I'm going to rock my shoulders back. And everyone might be in a different space. It's totally fine. We're going to breathe here. Just breathing in and breathing out. And don't even worry about if you're breathing the right way, if how many counts you're breathing. The goal is to simply notice your breath as you breathe it in. And then notice your breath as you breathe that out. So we're just training our mind at this point to remain focused, calm, and steady as we purposely draw our attention towards the direction of our breath, as we kind of notice in the background of our mind the sensations that are happening along through our hip, our knee, our back body, our front body, and soften here. So take one more breath just like this. Without any judgment, without any resistance, and breathing out, letting everything soften, melting towards the floor, keeping that leg just as it is. Allow the muscles to kind of feel as though they're melting away from the bones, while still holding that integrity of space with the shoulders over your hips. Exhale and breathe out. Slowly, if your eyes are closed, open them and uncross your right ankle from your left knee. And we're going to switch sides. So, moving now to the opposite side. Taking the left ankle, placing it on the right knee. And you might notice there could be a very large difference between the right and left sides. Know that this is normal. Our bodies are not symmetrical. We're asymmetrical beings, so we will always have some mild discrepancy between the right and left. So again, as with the opposite side, if your knee is popped up and it cannot melt down any farther, that's fine. You stay within the range of motion and mobility that you have in the body that you have, and you allow yourself to just be there. Soften through your eyes. And without any comparison or judgment, allow the left knee to soften towards the direction of the ground, allowing your left hand to rest upon it, to serve as a little anchor, to gently provide a little bit of resistance in a good way. And then drawing that awareness back from the proprioception, the outer space, feelings that are just beyond your skin itself, and then take that awareness inside, this internal sensation, and notice the gravitational weight from shoulders to hips. And find that place where it feels like you're balancing without a lot of effort. From the crown of your head, through your hips, sit bones, even all the way down to the bottom of that right foot. And just like before, we're going to settle into stillness here. Anytime our mind wanders, and the wandering, it happens so much. And this practice holds space for us as though we're walking a puppy along a sidewalk, and we're training it to walk as we would like for it to walk. So we're training our minds to remain focused on our breath. Breathing in and breathing out, just gently softening along with the length of your exhalation. Finding that space of balance within. Noticing any micro movements, adjustments that you need to make to allow yourself to feel that balance or that stability that exists from the bottom of your seat, through your shoulders, your ears, back of your head, all the way to your crown. Let's take one more breath together right here. And as we let go, slowly open your eyes, uncross your ankle from your knee. We'll slowly allow the knees to fall together. We'll walk our heels out and apart. It's really hard to see here in the video, but let's see if I can change the perspective just a little bit. So, taking your feet now, knees together, heels apart, and balance your weight on your toes. And we're just going to really notice our toes right now. Not really doing anything else other than keeping that internal space, that internal awareness from your hips to your shoulders. Maybe even placing your left hand on your heart, your right hand on your belly. And just wobbling, rocking back and forth on those toes. Drawing your feet back together. Inhale your arms up. Exhale, let's twist to the right together. Just twisting it out, finding just a little bit more length in our spines. Taking your chin towards the back of the chair, left hand on the right knee. And you can keep your eyes closed if that feels better for you, or you can allow a gaze to be soft and gentle. Take one more breath, breathe in. Exhale and soften, slowly coming back through center. And we'll take it to the other side. So breathe in, arms lift high, exhale, let's twist it out to the opposite side. You can hold on to the arms of your chair, to your knee, to the back of the chair, whatever feels good. And you're still noticing this length along with the twist now. Softening through your body. Inhale as you come back through center. Exhale, we're going to slowly fold over our legs. So if moving forward gives you a disorientation in your spatial awareness, come down slowly. You can even use a bookshelf. You can use your desk. You can rest your hands on your knees. So I'm going to start with my bookshelf here. I'm going to reach forward, elongating through my spine. Shoulders begin to melt down. Allow your head to become heavy. So this is like option one. So if you're on a desk, maybe you're resting your head down like that little game, thumbs up, 7-Up. You remember that game in school. Or maybe you soften down to your forearms, allowing the head to become heavy. So the goal here is just to find a place where you can soften through your back body, letting everything go. For some of you, folding all the way down to the earth feels good. You can go there too. If folding down to the earth feels good, you can separate your knees and allow yourself to fold a little bit more. Using your hands as a support, if you feel that you're going to topple out of your chair, please be mindful of your counterbalance here. And honoring that space of your own personal mobility. So whether you're folded forward, almost touching the earth, if you're in that space where you're on your elbows and knees, if you're resting on your desk, or you're resting with your arms wide on something taller, know that there's a space that's just right, just for you. And that's where you settle. That's where you breathe. Inhale, come up. Taking a moment to pause in gratitude, chair yogis, for finding an opportunity to energetically express yourself and move with your breath, even in a seated position. So, chair yogis, this is for you. Working through that energetic process that would be necessary to eventually evolve into a practice that might be on the floor, that then might take you to that place where you're doing the silly Instagram postures, which again, I say they're silly. They're wonderful. They're beautiful expressions of an energetic experience. It's not some goal to be attained. The energetic experience happens within you, and it happens in the vessel, the beautiful vessel that you already are. So I look forward to seeing you on your chair yogis in the future. If you'd like to sign up for any upcoming classes or events, please do check out my link tree. I will post it in the comments, the bio, etc., depending on where this is posted. And sign up for notifications. I have some classes coming up in September. Some will be chair yoga, some will be on the ground, some will be in vineyards, some will be in studios. So sign up and stay tuned. Mwah.